Everyone, I Vaibhav Gupta, along with my classmates Sharan Srinivas, Danya Shri, and Mahita, have curated for you the presentation of the Indian Army's unsung role in World War I and II. Firstly, I'd like to thank my school, BVM Global Trichy, for giving us this opportunity to work on this project, and my teachers for helping us throughout. It is called the World War because most of the countries took part in it. The Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria was assassinated by a Bosnian Serb nationalist on 28th of June 1914 in Bosnia. The assassination sparked a chain of events as Austria and Hungary blamed Serbia for the attack. Mighty Russia and its allies supported Serbia, so Austria had to ask Germany for help. On July 28th, Austria and Hungary declared war on Serbia. The peace between the European nations broke into war, now known as World War I. On June 28, 1919, Germany and its allies signed in the Treaty of Versailles, making the end of World War I.
World War I literally hits the world like never before. It was one of the greatest watershed of the 20th century geopolitical history. While the war was continued to the period from 1914 to 1918, it continued to define the status of world politics until the Second World War I. From 1914 to 1918, it entangled almost all of Europe, the Middle East and Russia, and from 1917 also the United States of America. The central power entailing Germany, Australia, Hungary and Turkey, the Ottoman Empire, were defeated against the Allies, France, Great Britain, Russia, Italy, Japan and United States. Indian role in World War I and World War II. Approximately 1.3 million Indian soldiers served in World War I and over 74,000 of them lost their lives.
Exactly 100 years after the guns of August boomed across the European continent, the world has been extensively commemorating that seminal event. The Great War, as it was called then, was described at the time as the war to end all wars. Ironically, the eruption of an even more destructive conflict 20 years after the end of this one meant that it is now known as the First World War. As many as 74,187 Indian soldiers died during the war and a comparable number were wounded. India contributed a number of divisions and brigades to the European, Mediterranean, Mesopotamian, North African and East African theatres of war. In Europe, Indian soldiers were among the victims who suffered in the horrors of trenches. They were killed in droves before the war was into its second year and bore the brunt of many a German offensive. This picture shows PHW, a Turkish death trap rushed by indomitable Lancasters under a tornado of fire, unloading stores.
soldiers fighting in the trenches of Europe. Letters sent by Indian soldiers in France and Belgium to their family members in their villages back home speak an evocative language of cultural dislocation and tragedy. The British raised men and money from India as well as large supplies of food, cash and ammunition collected by both British location or British taxation of Indians and from the nominally autonomous princely states. In return, the British had incessantly promised to deliver progressive self-rule to India at the end of the war. Perhaps had they kept that pledge, the sacrifice of India's First World War soldiers might have been seen in their homeland as a contribute to India's freedom. But they were men who did their duty as they saw it, and they were Indians. It is a matter of quiet satisfaction that their overdue rebellion has now begun. Thank you.
Hi friends, Ishwa, Havish and Sarvesh are here to tell us about World War I and World War II. World War I. World War I started in 1914 and ended in 1918. World War II started from 1939 and ended in 1945. World War I. The main reason of the World War I was the assassination of Archduke Franz Ferdinand by a Serbian student. The countries that took part in the war were Germany, Austria-Hungary, Turkey, France, Britain, Russia, Italy, Japan and US. Tools, weapons used in World War I was machine guns, aeroplanes, tanks and poisonous gas. World War II. The reason of the World War II was political problems in Europe. The countries that took part in the World War II were Germany, Italy, Japan, France, Britain, US, Soviet Union and China. Over 60 million people died in World War II. Tools and weapons used in World War II were nuclear power, missiles, tanks and Hi friends, we did a project in Scratch with 2 tanks, 1 bullet and 2 helicopters. I will show you the project. Thank you for watching.
The video, I explained the program. In this project, I have used 4 main sprites. They are 2 soldiers, 1 bullet and 1 blast effect sprite and 1 background sprite. First, I have added the 2 soldiers and used the direction option to make face it as the opposite. After this, I want to make the bullet travel. For this, I have chosen glide command from soldier 1 to soldier 2. After this, the bullet touches the soldier 1 means he want to hide. I have chosen the touching sensor for this function. In this project, I have learned one new function. It's about the broadcast. It helps to transfer the information from one sprite to another sprite by using command. I will easily hide the soldier 1. After this bullet came to starting position, so I had used the go to command. This is the explanation of the program. Thank you for the opportunity.
Technology played a significant role in World War. Most of the technology which was developed when in this period of time was developed because when in need of it or because of the lessons learned due to the war. World War II had one of the biggest effects on the technological advancements and devices that are used today. Technology played a great role in World War II's winner and who had its title. Fields of advancement. Technological advancement was observed in many different fields, some of them including weaponry, logistical support, communication, and rocketry. Weaponry. The increased usage, some of the major advancements include the increased usage of tanks, aircraft, ships, and submarines. And when it came to weapons, artillery and small arms. Some of the different types of weapons used include biological weapons, which inflicted diseases on the enemy, chemical weapons, which inflicted loads of damage on the enemy, and atomic weapons, which created huge explosions. Now I ask Nagul to share his PPT on weaponry.
Chlorine gas. Chlorine gas attacked the eyes and respiratory system. Mustard gas did the same, but also caused blistering on any exposed skin. The Big Bertha. Big Bertha was the largest and most powerful piece of mobile artillery used by any army. Machine guns, maximum MG-08. Germany army made direct copy of machine guns and deployed it during the First World War. The artillery gun. Their main aim was to fire explosive-filled projectiles over the large distance. The Mark V tank. Mark V tank was the last and largest tank to serve in First World War on the British side.
Thank you, Nagul, for your PPT. Logistical support. Logistical support are the vehicles necessary for transporting soldiers and supplies to the team. Examples include trains, trucks, tanks, ships, and also aircraft. Communications and intelligence. Their advancements include the devices used for navigation and normal communication. There are also devices which are used for remote sensing in navigation and interception of information and espionage. Now I ask Navardan to show his model on the secret communication.
The most important aspect in the World War was to pass information in utter secrecy. The Germans developed a machine called an Enigma, which has been made as a model here. Has it it is a typewriter-like device which can produce highly encrypted message by turning these wheels.
Thank you, Navardan. Rocketry. Some of the important bits of rockets include guided missiles, which can attack according to the coordinate given, medium-range ballistic missiles, which inflict loads of damage on the enemy, and automatic aircraft. A quick little summary: technology played a significant role in World War II, and World War II had a great effect on the technology and devices used today. Technological advancement was observed in different fields. Some of them are weaponry, logistical support, communication, and rocketry. Now, it's not only the technology which was forgotten, which was very important in who won the World War II. It was also the soldiers who fought bravely in the trenches. Now, I ask Dharanjan to share his PPT on the forgotten heroes.
Forgotten Heroes, World War I and II.
World War One. Born 13 December 1887. Died 2nd September 1964. Salah Khan, World War One. Charles White Wesley, World War One. Born 20 January 1884. Died 26 November 1921. William Henry Johnson, World War One. Born 18 March 1901. Died 13 April 1970. Alan Turing, Second World War. Born 23rd June 1912. Died 7th June 1954. Abdul Hussain Sardari, World War II. Born 1914. Died 1981. Charles Joseph Coward, World War II. Born 30 January 1905. Died 1976. Moment of silence for these lost heroes. Thank you. Now Navrudhan will show his Scratch project.
Now the correct answer to this question is B, cops of guides. And if Navrudhan just gives the correct answer B, the option B, it says correct, and after a couple seconds it changes to the next question. But if you focus on the score, you can see that it is increased by 1. And now for the wrong answer for this, you can say as A, and if Navrudhan gives A, it says incorrect and the score doesn't increase. Thank you. Now we'll show the code. That is the code.
This is the coding.
Thank you.
Then
A warm greetings to everyone on the vacation of Project Day. We, the students of Class 7 Robotics, had done a PPT and a program on the topic of construction of Gurkha, Muslim and Sikh regiments in Indian Army of World War I and II. Sikh Regiment. The Sikh Regiment is a fantastic regiment of an Indian Army, the most decorated regiment of an Indian Army in 979. Gurkha Regiment. Since the independence of India in 1947, as per the terms of Britain, India, Nepal Tripartite Agreement, the 6th Gurkha Regiment, formerly part of British Indian Army, become the part of Indian Army has served ever. Muslim Regiment. The Muslim Regiment is an Indian Army has refused to fight in 965 CE war with Pakistan. They are using this claim to question the loyalty of Muslims towards the nation and also the ability of Muslims to serve the nation once they become IAS or IPS officer. Now is the time to show you the program of Sikh, Gurkha and Muslim regiments on fire code. These three soldiers and the British soldiers. When we tap, the bullet which flow towards the British hits them, and when they hit, it disappears. Now I'm going to show you the program of how we did it. The dressing code of British, Gurkha and Sikh regiment. The British, the Muslim, the Sikh and the Gurkha. Now my friend Rohit Charan will take off the continuation by showing you an amazing PPT on topic of the construction of Gurkha, Muslim and Sikh regiments in Indian Army of World War I and II. Thank you.
My name is Mukundaguru and I am from 7th standard. Today I am going to give a speech about the Sikh regiment in Indian Army. The Sikh Empire has a good succeeding rate even when they fight only foes with stronger forces than them. The Sikh Regiment of Indian Army was active in August 1846. Their war cry was Bol So Nihal Sat Akal, which means one will be blessed eternally who says that God is ultimate. The size of the Sikh regiment in Indian Army is 20 battalions. The Sikh regiment is an infantry regiment of the Indian Army. The colonel of the regiment is Lt. General P.G.K. Menon, AVSM. Sikh regiment has its soldiers solely recruited from Jat Sikhs and its officers are non-Jat Sikhs. They trained in the Sikh Regimental Center, currently located in Ramgarh Cantonment, Jharkhand. Thank you for paying attention. And once again, this is D.A. Mukundaguru signing off. Thank you.
Hi friends, I'm Pranesh. I'm in class 7. Today I'm going to speak about Muslim regiments. 1965. The letter mentioned that the falsehood campaign originally began in May 2013 when a Twitter handle called World Hindu United had posted in 1965 there was a regiment in the Indian Army called Muslim Regiment. A Muslim regiment in the Indian Army has therefore never existed. Regiments with caste-based names existed long ago and their names have not been changed after the independence.
Hi friends, I am S. Rohit Charan in class 7A taking part in Robotics. Now I am going to explain you about the Muslim regiment. In 1965, the letter mentioned that the parachute campaign originally began in May 2013 when a Twitter handle called World Hindus United had posted in 1965. There was a regiment in Indian Army called Muslim Regiment. A Muslim regiment in the Indian Army has therefore never existed. Regiments with the caste-based names came into existence long ago and their names have not been changed. After independence, today the Sikh regiment has more than 20 battalions. The Sikh light infantry is amongst the oldest regiments of the Indian Army. The Sikh pioneers were disbanded in 1932 but were re-raised as the Sikh Light Infantry in 1941 to meet the growing demand for infantry battalions during the Second World War. The Gurkha Regiment. A seventh regiment was raised after independence. Currently, there roughly are 32,000 Gurkhas, who make up the 40 battalions serving in the 7 regiments in the Indian Army. There is not a single military campaign launched by independent India where the battalions have not left their indelible mark. Thank you. And my friend Mukunda Guru is continuing after me. He is going to take a PPT and a video. Thank you.
Soldier fights not because he hates what is in front of him, but because he loves what is behind him. We are students of class 8 going to discuss about the Madras Regiment and Special Mission Trichy.
The Madras Regiment. The Madras Regiment is one of the oldest and powerful regiments of the Indian Army. It is headquartered at Wellington, Nilgiris. It comprises the battalion of the southern Indian states. The early origin of its soldiers are those from the great empire of kingdoms of Cheras, Cholas, Pandyas and Pallavas. Administration. The 9th Battalion, Madras Regiment's oldest unit, was formerly known as Nayar Patalam, Nayar Army or Nayar Brigade. The origin of the Madras Regiment dates back to 4th December 1758, when 2 battalions were raised under Robert Clive, consequent to the siege of Fort St. George by the French. Eventually, when the British annexed the Indian subcontinent, it was largely with the help of Madras Regiment sepoys.
Madras Regimental Centre. Madras Regimental Centre (MRC) is the headquarters of Madras. This is located in Kunnur, Nilgiris. The Madras Regiment Band, a full-time Indian military band that serves as part of the Madras Regimental Centre. It consists of a concert band, a brass band, and a percussion section. It forms at arrival ceremonies for state visits as well as the dinner hosted at Rashtrapati Bhavan by the President of India, as well as the regimental and community events.
These are the few pictures of the Trichy Battalion of the Madras Regiment. War Memorial. World War I Memorial, located state of Tamil Nadu, India. Is war memorial dedicated for the soldiers of Tiruchinappalli. About 302 soldiers from Tiruchinappalli participated in the World War I as a part of the British Indian Army, of which 41 died during the course of the war. In remembrance of those soldiers, the government then erected a memorial with a huge clock in it. The memorial, which was popularly known as Clock Tower, was languishing without much maintenance. During this time, about 25 traders, including Burmese refugees, put up their shop and began to occupy the spaces around the memorial, which was left unchecked and became a hindrance in viewing and visiting the memorial.
The Siege of Tiruchinappalli. The siege of Trichinopoli took place in early 1741 during an extended series of conflicts between the Nawab of Arcot and the Maratha Empire for control over parts of what is now southern India. Raghuji Bhonsle's Maratha army successfully starved out the town, compelling the surrender of Chanda Sahib on 26 March 17. Hello everyone, we are students of class 8. This is our robotics programming. This quiz is based on the PPT discussed before.
In which year did the Madras Regiment originate?
1750,
Sorry, you're wrong. Try again.
1758,
Under whose control was the Madras Battalion formed?
Stringer Lawrence,
Correct. What is the full form MRC?
Madras Regional CAD,
No.
Madras Regimental Center,
Nice. Very good. In what year did the siege of Trichinopoli take place?
1757,
No. Try again.
1751,
Correct. Approximately how many people participated in the World War One?
302.
Correct. So this was a quiz program. Hope you liked it. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. My name is N. Kaushik, and my team members' name are Malolan and Dharani. Did you know about Madras' participation in the World War? No? Then we will enlighten you. The Madras Presidency, or the Presidency of Fort St. George, and also known as Madras Province, was an administrative subdivision presidency of British India. In 1639, the English East India Company purchased the village of Patna, and 1 year later, it established the agency of Fort St. George, precursor of the Madras Presidency, although there had been company factories at Machilipatnam and Armagan since the very early 1600. The agency was upgraded to a presidency in 1652 before once more reverting to its previous status in 1655. In 1684, it was re-elevated to a presidency and Ilihu Yen was appointed as president. Madras has not been a city which has technically had a war. In 1914, there was the infamous SMS Emden bombing and in 1943, a Japanese bombing.
In 1914, there was the infamous SMS Emden bombing. The bombardment of Madras was an engagement of the First World War at Madras, British India. The bombardment was initiated by the German light cruiser Emden at the outset of war in 1914. The Emden bombing in Madras was huge back then because it stoked the Indian confidence on the British, with Captain Carl von Muller in command. On the night of 22 September 1914, SMS Emden quietly approached the city of Madras on southeast coast of the Indian peninsula after entering the Madras harbor area. Muller eliminated 6 large oil trucks belonging to the Burma oil company with his searchlight, then fired at the range of 3,000 yards. After 10 minutes of firing, Emden had hit 5 of the trucks and destroyed 346,000 gallons of fuel.
It was in the middle of World War II. Japanese Air Force and Navy were conducting daring attacks in the eastern seas and captured Singapore and Andaman Islands from the British on April 6. At about 7 in the morning, a single Japanese plane fired at Kokanada, a port town 700 km north of Madras. Damaged 2 ships, killed 1 person, injured 5. On April 7th, the air raid alert rudely woke people up at 4:35 in the morning. The hour that followed was probably the longest torturous hour the city would have faced. When an all-clear signal was sounded at 5:55 a.m. to everyone relief, no bombs had been dropped and no shots had been fired. There was no damage, but panic swept Madras. About 50,000 people fled the city every day. Thank you.
Hello everyone, I'm Ashwin. I'm here to say you about our project, which is based on World Wars. We have divided this project into two parts, as World War I and World War II. We have given information from all years as text for and for visually impaired members. We have done a voiceover for the text so that helps them to understand through sound. This project helps us to know the contribution made by Indians in World War. Hope it helps.
Hi guys, today we are going to see the work through of our app World Wars of India. First, the world wars are divided into World War One and World War Two. First, we'll see what are the events and what is the timeline in World War One. The timeline of World War One is from 1914 to 1918. Here we can see the app displays the timeline. When we click on each year, for example, if we click on 1914, it shows it shows information about text information about what happened in 1914 in India and some pictures, and also an audio playback which plays to the text information below. There is also a volume slider which increases the volume of the playback. If we go back, we can go to for example, you will go to 1918. The same preview is shown here also. Same content. When we go to World War II, we can see the timeline of World War II. The World War II lasts from 1939 to 1945. For example, if we click on 1940 to 41, we can see what happened from 1940 to 41. Here it is the same preview with an information containing about World War II 1940 in India, and volume slider and an audio playback. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. Myself, Balasundri of class 11A. I'm going to present today's project with my friend. We have created an application regarding containing stories of the Indian soldiers and the adventures of the Indian soldiers. And we have done an application regarding that, and with the help of MIT App Inventor, we have done. Here is my friend Harni, who is going to explain you fully.
Hello all, I'm Harini from class 11B. Today I'm going to explain you all about the project which we have created. So first let's enter the MIT app. There appears the home screen. In this we'll see about 3 topics. First about the World War I, then about the World War II, then the last about the Indians in the trenches, voices of the forgotten army. First let's see about the World War I. There will be few information about it with events. So let's see. So this is our project. Hope so you got some information about it. Thank you so much for watching. Thank you.